Hi guys, I'm Woodcraft Hamster and I thought I'd do another quick carving tips video today. And what I wanted to talk about was marking out and using things like templates. Now, as you know, I do a lot of carving, things like spoons, bowls, that kind of thing. And one of the things I found really useful is a cardboard template. Now these are just two that I use for bowls. They're just literally very simple ovals. And the benefit of these, if you want to make things as kind of, what's the word for it, as accurate as possible, let's say. So I'll take a piece of cardboard like this, fold it in half, mark out my design, cut round it, and then when you open it up, both sides are completely uniform. So that's just one little way of making sure you get a good even template. The other thing I use are things like this for spoon. Now this is my standard spoon carving template. It's not particularly pretty, it's very kind of simple and basic, and again all I've done is folded that in half, drawn my spoon outline, cut it out, and hey presto, there we go. The benefit of something like this is that it's not only very simple, but you can customize it. So once you've marked this out, if you want to put a few little sweeps and curves or flare something out or what have you, you can do that freehand afterwards, but this gives you a basis to work from, which I find really useful. And then the last thing I tend to use, especially if I want something particularly circular like a round bowl, little schoolboy's compass. Absolutely brilliant. I hadn't used one of these since I was at school, and I never expected to use one again. It cost me about £1.50 in a stationery shop, and I can get some really good bowls out of this. I'll give you an example. So here's a bowl that I'm carving at the moment. Again, it's not perfect, it's in the drying out process, and it's very sort of wonky on the outside, but actually internally this is pretty good as far as being sort of equal and you know exactly what I want it to be. And it was using that compass that allowed me to do that. So again, really guys, from my perspective, the little tip from me is, if you know, you can carve freehand. I sometimes carve freehand, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're getting into carving or you're not particularly confident in your skills, put some markings on your piece of wood and work to those lines. The thing I was going to say, especially about this, that works for every sort of template, is hopefully you can sort of get an idea of the scale of this on the back of my hand. It's quite a large spoon. Now the reason I've made this oversized, and I would recommend this to anybody, is that if you make the exact size that you want, you put that down on your wood, and then you come out and carve against those lines. If you make any form of mistake, you can't put wood back on. So what I would rather do is very roughly sort of cut down and carve down to my lines. Once I've reached this point, that's when I can start my fine detail carving, and that's when sort of, you know, doing it by eye really comes into its own. If you're still not that confident, once you've got down to these lines, you can literally just mark on the inside of them and reduce them and reduce them. But what you don't want to do is go too small too quickly. Otherwise you'll end up sort of taking a piece off that you didn't mean to, and as much as, you know, generally these kind of things are salvageable, you'll be left in a situation where you're thinking, oh god, I've ruined the whole thing, I'll have to start again. But anyway guys, I hope it was useful. You know, it's just a little tip that I use and I find it really useful. It just gives you something to work towards, it gives you something you can visually see, so you know you're not taking off too much wood at any one point. But anyway guys, comments and questions in the box below, hit like and subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I hope you'll all join me next time. Thanks guys.